Howdy folks, my name's Christian and welcome to Bullish on Farming. Today I just moved our group of pigs into our starting off point. This is where the pigs were turned out for the first time. Started off in the training pen there. Well, actually kinda did. The weaners were so small when we got them, they actually hopped through the page wire fence. I didn't actually turn out piglets that young before, and my eyes told me that they wouldn't get through that, but they did. So for anyone who's looking to make a training pen, you're gonna wanna wait till those weaners are, I don't know, at least a month and a half to be able to do something like that. So what did we do instead? We stacked some hay and created a temporary pen in our hay barn right there. And I just lined that with electric fencing on the inside to train the pigs. But when they were turned out, this is where they were. So this is 10 weeks of rest. That's what you're looking at here with these girls. Got 8 gilts. And boy, are they putting on some size. She's one of our younger ones. We got 4 younger girls, about 3 months, maybe a bit older than that. And then the other ones will be closer to 4 months. And we're running Berkshire and Berkshire Tamworth Cross here. These two would be our 4-month-old girls, a little huskier, and they're actually pure Berkshire. And I think next year, that's what we're gonna lean towards. We were told that the Berkshire Tamworth Cross is a little leaner. Well, although they're a bit younger, it's more difficult to tell. That would be a Tamworth Cross as well. The way these girls bulk up as Berkshire, we're happy about it. Because, you know, we don't run a sow operation. It's kind of a mix between what you can get and what you want in the spring when you're looking for weaners. We're happy with the Berkshires. So last paddock they came out of, we had them in there for 18 days. I made some previous videos that had them in there and talked about moving them out and doing a video when I moved them. So here we are. We've been getting some rain, but not a crazy amount. So I've noticed that the paddocks that are drier, although the pigs were in here for 18 days, there's some areas that are still kind of green, and that's okay. When we first turned them out in the spring, although they were smaller and rooting much less, the ground was always wet. And so it was very malleable, and they pretty much obliterated the whole paddock within a few days. Now that it's harder, you could see that it's a little more difficult for that disturbance to set in, which is fine. We get a few more days out of the paddock. Typical rule I'm using now is, for the group I'm running in the sizes of these paddocks, keeping it about 2 weeks per paddock. And that gives us that average of 10 weeks rest per paddock. And that's good, we like that. I pushed a little longer on this for 18 days for experimenting. But I never really want to get past that 21 days, because that's the germination period for the bacteria that you don't want to be dealing with. And before then, it's time to get your animals moving. You see, we run our cattle on daily rotations. The way this pork setup is a little different. They get 2 weeks per section because they don't only rely on grazing. And well, that 2 weeks for the amount of girls we have in here right now is perfect for the amount of animal impact we want to be getting on our land. So you can see plenty of grasses here. Plenty of weeds that they'll be chomping down. And pigs love to gnaw on weeds and uproot those thicker stemmed plants that cattle just pass right by. So we'll see after this year. You know, things don't happen overnight. It kind of takes a couple years to really notice, in my experience, the benefits to the land. But it's good to know that that's the direction we're heading in, and that our land will only be increasing in quality while our meat also increases in quality. That 65-gallon tub's working well for us still. Still got the 2 nipples on there. And as long as they're installed tight, those nipples shouldn't rip off. We do put some water in their feed tubs to reduce the amount that we have to refill that stock tub. Hey girls, isn't that right? Yep. And we got an event on the farm coming up. So one of our bigger girls will be going for processing within the next week. And although they're not at that finishing weight yet, people are on the farm. We're excited to process it and see what the pork is like. And it's going to be one of these Berkshire girls. The older ones that have porked right up. And it's exciting because it'll be the first time that a lot of people at the event will have tried forest raised pork, I think. And so when we're going to process that girl, how are we going to do it? Well, with this training pen, it's also our corral system. And we want this to be a friendly place that the pigs feel welcome. So I'm going to be keeping this gate open so that the pigs can just mosey on in there and hang out and make themselves at home. And I'll probably be snacking, because we do supplement their feed with produce from the market garden. Supplementing some of their feed with that in here so that they know to come and get a treat in here. And as you can see, when I'm looking at the back of the corral, it's wider. And well, the idea is have all the pigs come in here and have them hanging out, and with our pig boards, start to push the pigs this way, but allow the pigs that we don't want to pass by us. And as we narrow down into this area, we'll get down to, you know, a couple to a few pigs. And it's just a matter of making that human mall with your boards. No pig can get past. Maybe sending someone in there to sort out a pig or two. And once we have that trailer backed up and ready and that door swings open, we'll see how easy it'll load. It might take a little convincing by putting some treat on the trailer. Or if you just apply a little bit pressure, she might hop right up on there. That's usually how it works for me. You know, every setup's different, and every group that you work with is different. And I'm a huge believer that it all kind of comes together with how you're raising the animals. So you see this girl here? She's a beauty. She's the only one in the pen right now. So that day, if I came in and there was, you know, that pig was already in here just waiting, I'd just shut that gate. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. She's in a corral ready to load. But because there's at least a week before we're sending her off, I want her to be with the group, spend time with her friends, socialize. And when we get closer to that time, we'll isolate her. But yeah, folks, I mean, if handling your animals is easy, you've thrown a huge chunk of your problems out the window, because a lot of people have a difficult time, you know, getting their animals on a trailer, especially if you've ever worked with pigs. They're so dense and low to the ground. They're difficult to handle if you're used to, you know, herding things such as cattle, herding them into groups and moving them together. Pigs kind of just move, as you can see. I said pigs a little loud there. Something happened and they all just went whichever way they want. So good luck dealing with that if you don't have some type of logistical maneuvering figured out. Here, they're looking like they want some of this. Come on, girls. Piggies, piggy girls. And so I've mentioned in previous videos that our market garden is taking up a big chunk of our feed, which we are happy about. I'd say about at least 25% of our feed costs have been cut out due to the fact that these girls are both foraging and eating the produce from our market garden that doesn't go to market. And that's just another thing that, you know, contributes to our self-sustainability, producing for our own animals and sustaining our farm based on our farm operations. But also just that other thing that conventional pigs don't get in contributing to the meat. Forest-raised pork is one of a kind. And until you try it, you really don't know what you were missing out on. And you'd be pretty surprised that you were eating the pork you were eating before. Not that it's bad, but it's just amazing to see what food is like when it's raised in a way that nature intended. It's just a worlds of a difference. So we're at 10 minutes, folks, 11 minutes. I'll cut this one off here. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.